a second ago that there is some possibilities here for playoffs to come into the mix a little bit. We do have the Bird Noises, who are currently sitting in 5th place, looking to sort of break into the playoffs of Avast. And, the way the rest of the season works out, if they win here tonight versus running with Scizors, they might just be able to do that.
Yep, they might. I mean, we were discussing before this match started, BloodSire, that running with Scizors are pretty much out of the running here, but they can still definitely deny Bird Noises the possibility of getting into playoffs and getting that 4th spot.
Yeah, absolutely. So running with Scizors, they're in 6th place. They're at 5-7. Their record is 5-7. They're out. Bird Noises 6-7. They have some life left here, and really their fate is in their hands. They get to play running with Scizors today on process, and then moving forward, they get to play Street Hoops, who are sitting right in the position that they want. Street Hoops are in 4th place with a record of 8-5. So Street Hoops are going to have to lose, and running with Scizors, Bird Noises are going to have to win if Bird Noises do want to break in to that playoff spot. And it's possible because moving forward, the Street Hoops, they play Froyotech. So if you count that a loss, and then if Bird Noises win out, it's possible that Bird Noises can squeak into that last and 4th and coveted playoff spot there at the end. So, it'll be interesting to see. And of course, before we can get to all of that, Bird Noises have to bring it here tonight versus running with Scizors, who, like you mentioned, they're in the role of spoiler. And we're going to have a spoiler match later on a little bit when the Bugs face Froyotech. Of course, the Bugs are way out of it and Froyotech's already in, but the Bugs have the possibility and have the potential to bring Froyotech down in the seeding, which would loom very large. So, not the greatest matchup there later on, but still significant in some way. But this one coming up, Avast, this one's going to be highly competitive, highly contested, and like we said, it's all going to start here for Bird Noises if they want to have the possibility to take their season further.
Yeah, definitely. It's even though we're towards the end of the season, these matches can always make a difference in the long run. It's just something, depending on because of how seeding works, it could really change the face of playoffs, depending on if any seeding changes happens in these last couple matches. So I also think that this is a match, when looking at it, I think these teams can still have a possibility of seeing upset for 2, between these 2 teams for sure.
And of course, there's always the idea that these teams, we don't know what their future is, we don't know what their future plans are. But they want to play their best. They want to show the rest of Invite their individual skill, but if they have plans to move forward into the next season, they want to show them their team skill, and they want to come out of the season knowing that, hey, at least at the end of the run there, we gave it our all, we got this win, or we upset that team, or we, had this impact on the season, at least something they can hang their hat on. So running with Scizors, although they are out of the playoffs as of now, they can at least try to win here and say, you know what, Bird Noises? No, you're not going to get in either. If you can't have it, we can't have it. And Street Hoops, they're going to go ahead and they're going to keep that 4th spot. And that's fine by us. And I mean, that's what we're going to wait to see here. And it's going to be interesting because Process is one of those maps that gets very chaotic, gets very back and forth. It's a constant tug of war. I love it. It's personally my favorite map. And I just can't wait to see these guys battle it out.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, just as another statement, even though running with Scizors are pretty much out of the running, I think that for a first-time Invite team, they've definitely shown the possibility to be a strong contender as long as they learn from their mistakes and improve themselves as individual players in this next upcoming season. And I hope they do stick together. And same with Bird Noises as well, because I think they definitely both have the possibility to be very strong teams.
Yeah, I think so. And, off the back of that, we should talk about the roster a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and look at the Bird Noises roster, and there was some sort of trepidation. We didn't know if Indust was going to be here today. You Must Mike, we got the word that he was going to be filling in for Indust, which would have been very, very bad, in my opinion, for Bird Noise is not because You Must Mike is bad at all, but because Indust is such a core part of that team. About 44 minutes ago, about an hour ago, we got the word from Vand on teamfortress.tv that Indust was in fact back early. He came here to play for his team, to give his team every shot they could possibly have. He's here. He's going to play. He is the medic for Bird Noises, and that's really going to help them. Moving on down the line, Psy Guy on Demo Man. He's going to fill in for, not fill in, he's going to play Demo Man for them. The Soldiers are Hellbent and Vol. Link User and Van, of course, are the Scouts. And, you know, all in all, a solid team. Like I said, because they have Indust on that team, and Indust has all that invite experience, and he is sort of the main caller, they've performed fairly well. They have a 6-7 record, so just about 500, but not quite there. But like we said, their season isn't over yet, Avast, and this is time where they could possibly, and potentially, and we hope, pick it up and move forward into playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people many times they root for an underdog. I know that 20B as a team has a lot of pretty ardent followers, to say the least. And by underdog, I mean 20B is the underdog in this playoff spot. They've had a sort of a beginning rough season trying to round up their roster, and then in many ways Running with Scizors, or not Running with Scizors, but Bird Noise is the underdog to even get into playoffs. So I think it could leave a lot of implications to see what would happen if Bird Noises were to make playoffs, because I think it's been a while, actually, since a newly promoted IM team has made playoffs and invite. I think it's been quite some time. I can't really remember off the top of my head how long, but I'm pretty sure it's been a while.
The last team I think that I can remember was the team with Paragon, I think, and
that's the original 20B, which was a long time ago. Yeah,
right. So I mean, that was the first time, and in that scenario, it reminded me a lot of a team I used to be on, which was MMM, which our first season we made it to in that 4th spot. Unfortunately, we couldn't go to LAN because the state of TF2 back then was a little bit different, and there wasn't the sort of crowdfunding or the sponsors or the taking of prize money to get you there. But yeah, it hasn't happened a lot. You haven't seen teams come into Invite in their first season together, play, and make that playoff spot, and it would be really cool to see Bird Noises be able to do it here. But as we mentioned, they have a long road ahead of them, a road that starts now, a road that starts tonight, and they're going to have to run over Running with Scizors if they want to go down that road.
Yeah, definitely. And, we've gone over the Running with the Bird Noises roster, and let's go over the Running with Scizors roster. I'll actually run through it here, like Running with Scizors.
Wow.
But we'll start with their medic, Sky, who is newly promoted to Invite. She's very talented. A lot of drive to improve as well. I've noticed a lot with just seeing her play and playing with her as well in pugs and such, that I think she's very, very driven to improve. And she messes really well with the team, which is always important with team chemistry. And a strong caller as well, giving supporting calls and helping out with things like that. We have Jarrett Demo, and Jarrett's been on demo before in Invite on the Grime, actually. And I think Jarrett is, and I remember someone saying earlier on the forums that this season has a lot of fantastic demo men, and I think Jarrett, it definitely fits that bill. He is a fantastic demo, has been playing a while in the upper echelons of like Highlander as well, and has transitioned to sixes, and I think he's done very well. We have Sin. We have Sin and who is the other? We have Sin and Muffins, Evil Mr. Muffins Scout, who are both talented. Sin was actually on a different team. Was on, I believe, what was it called? Not Fast Food. Last season, but he's made the transition to here to Running with Scizors, and I think they're both extremely talented scouts as well, relatively new to Invite, but both very strong, have strong DM. And Muffins, interestingly enough, is like a world-class surfer. So like, I think he was like ranked, I don't know if he was ranked 1, I can't remember, but he was definitely like at least top 3 at the very least. A very, very talented surfer. And then what was that?
Well, his movement is on par then, because if you can surf, he can do it.
I think his movement is solid. Surfing, in many ways, I think it matters more towards projectile surfing than actual scout movement. but it's definitely that mouse control can certainly lend itself to having that smooth scout movement that can make you very hard to hit. But I think in many ways his DM is honestly stronger than his movement, personally.
Right. Well,
I didn't think like that.
Off that point, I've heard Clockwork himself, the Scout Force Clockwork, mention that surfing is actually very important for understanding mouse control and also movement, the movement of your character, the movement of your class. So it definitely helps. It's a mechanically good thing to do, and something I'm actually very bad at. So that makes a whole lot of sense because I'm also very bad at this game.
Wow, I think you're putting yourself down there. BloodSire, nope. I think you're putting yourself down.
Nope, 9 out of 10 people agree that I am a Betty.
I would have to see that survey. I would have to see it. And further running down the roster list here, just to round it up, we have Rakuso on Roamer, and then we have Deathy on Pocket. And Rakuso as well has been an invite previously on the Yomis, and I think he's a very hyper-aggressive Pocket. He does a lot of work for his team. We've seen it previously on Metalworks as well, where he just did a lot of work for his team. He's has that experience, and I think he has a very solid grasp of using Roamer as something to force open, just sort of getting those picks and opening up flanks and getting those med drops and things like that. And then we have Deathy, who's newer than Rakuso, but has also shown himself as willing to improve. Is I think a very talented player, and tries to use Pocket as that main calling sort of objective centered class that I think Pocket can be, and he has a pretty strong DM to boot. So I think all around just talented players that are really trying to use this season to improve and can definitely put up a fight with this Bird Noises team.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look, this is a really even matchup, and running with Scizors, although they're out of it, they're sitting at 5-7 on the season right now, and Bird Noises are only 6-7, so very close team-wise. And I think if you look at the matchups individually, it's also very close. I look at the Scout matchups, I look at the Soldier matchups, and it's almost a toss-up, and it's going to be really fun to see these guys battle it out, because I haven't personally watched a match between these two at all. And here on Process, I think it's going to be great to see which team has that stronger DM, which team has that stronger medic call and medic play, which team runs the Uber better, and runs the combo, and just the team pushes all in all, because there's not much separating these two teams. And like we mentioned, Bird Noises are still in it. So can they prove tonight that there is just that little bit of wiggle room between them that is going to separate them from running with Scizors and the rest of Invite, and potentially allow them to push their season further? We're going to have to see that, and I'm very excited. Avast, I just want these players to get in the server so that we can see that.
Absolutely. They're taking their sweet time. I don't know if they've just come back from spring break, out on the beach like myself, because I'm still a little bit, the sun. I got a little bit sunburned, type of thing, and so I'm just getting back into the swing of casting here, BloodSire. So maybe all the players from these teams are still, trying to get back, figuring out how to operate their PCs again after being away for so long.
Maybe they need to apply a fresh coat of aloe vera to their sunburned skin, because I don't know, they're taking a long time. That's okay. There's more to talk about here. Of course, something that we haven't done all season, but something that we did last time, and actually missed last Wednesday. But I'm back here tonight, and Avast, I want to know your prediction on this matchup. What's it going to be?
Well, another interesting factor to the possible playoff implications for this game is that both these teams last season IM were both contenders for the playoff spots and trying to get that number 1, number 2 spot, with the Bird Noises team actually getting beat out by the Not Fast Food team, which ended up second, and then running with Scizors getting first. So I think they're very close, despite, and you can see it in the rankings here this season, with running with Scizors being the 6th and Bird Noises being 5th. And I honestly think that Bird Noises will probably still take it, because I think they have the stronger roster overall, just based off experience and and based off their play throughout the season. So I think that Bird Noises will take it, but I'll predict like a 5-3 for Bird Noises. I think it'll still be a close game.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say 5-4 in favor of running with Scizors, because I'm a lunatic who likes to cast TF2, and I think that It's going to be a great match. I think it's going to be back and forth, and I think Running with Scissors are going to fully embrace the potential here that they have to play spoiler and just ruin Bird Noise's hopes and dreams. Like you mentioned, there is some history between these guys from last season in Intermediate, was it that you said? Yeah, so that's all going to come back to play. I think Running with Scissors is a very strong team. Looking at their roster, I think they're all very talented gamers, and as we keep alluding to, I think they're on a very even footing with Bird Noises. So on a map like Process, I don't know, Bird Noises, they might be feeling the pressure of still having their season alive, and this could be the chance for Running with Scissors to kill those hopes and dreams. So I'm going to go ahead and say 5-4 in favor of Running with Scissors, and if we ever get Running with Scissors in the server, along with the rest and the remainder of the Bird Noises team, we will see if that's true. And I like that our predictions are a little bit dueling here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you have close predictions, you can generally, I think it's an indicator of how close the match will be, regardless of the actual outcome. Maybe we're just naive. Maybe because I mean, at least I myself, I can't remember what your prediction was. But for last match, you weren't able to make it there actually, but Gitterwill and I had predicted, a little bit of a closer game between a flagship game between EVL and Froyo, and EVL kind of got curb stomped, for lack of a better word. So I think sometimes games, this is still a video game, an esport, if you will, and sometimes some teams can just come out all cylinders firing and just really annihilate another team, despite what past performance may suggest.
Yeah, and you never know what's going to ignite a team. I mentioned that Bird Noises might be feeling the pressure, and they might choke under the weight. Some pressure cracks pipes, some pressure makes diamonds, and you don't know. Bird Noises, they might crack, but on the flip side, they can be feeling the energy, and they can come into this seeing that this is the beginning of what's going to be the rest of their season. They have street hoops to play coming up in the following matches, so they could look at this as the catapult heading into that match, and they could be feeling good about themselves going into that, thinking that we're going to win here, then we're going to win versus street hoops, then street hoops are going to lose, and then somehow we're going to make ourselves play in a playoff match. So you never know. I kind of don't think that's going to happen, because I do think that Running with Scissors are going to win out here. But I think that's more of my bias towards Running with Scissors and their cool little 8K tag there.
Yeah, they're mimic of actual Scizors, which it's close enough. It's close enough. I obviously they've worked with what they have, but maybe they could have done better. They could have done better, I feel, but I don't know how. But I'm sure they could have gotten on that, got their brains together, got on a think tank for getting a more realistic Scizors tag.
I mean, I think that's pretty good. And it's a shame that this is what we've sort of devolved into talking about, but I think they've done, like you said, they've done well with what they had, and I don't think you can make a better Scizors. Maybe our Twitch chat can make better Scizors from just the alphabet and the numbers there, but I don't know if I could.
Twitch chat, that is your objective while we wait for this game to start, because it looks like there's 10 players in the server, BloodSire. So it looks like we're still missing. I don't see Muffins. They're still missing Muffins for Running with Scissors. And they're also missing, it looks like they're missing, not Indust, but Hellbent. Yeah, I think they're missing Hellbent for Bird Noises.
Well, I have an update. I had a message come in from Vand, and he messaged me and tells me that we are switching servers since too many Canadians. So Colorado isn't
Canadians.
Too good. The Canadian, plain Canada, yeah, classic Canada with the bad manner here, and it looks like Colorado isn't gonna work for them. So we all have to just allow ourselves, allow them to have a little bit more leeway, so that they can play on a server that's better for them.
Yeah, that's classic Canada forcing us to cater to them. That's almost as bad as West Coast players, in my opinion. Almost as bad, but not quite.
Yeah, but so my question now is, do we have an ESEA guy around to get us the STV for that? Because I mean in previous experiences when you and I cast Avast, hasn't worked out all that well when teams change servers.
That's true. We've lacked some infrastructure there, some communication. Perhaps our lovely production crew will be working towards that. And also, actually, luckily enough, I have connections on the inside, BloodSire.
Wow.
Rakuso is working. I have Rakuso and Link User and some other players working on getting me this information.
I mean, I wish I had connections. I don't. I just have bad skills in video games. So, kudos to you for having those connections. So all right, so the situation right now, everybody who's just joining us, if you are just joining us, I apologize. We apologize, but it looks like we do have some server situations going on. Players were not pinging well to the server, which prevented them from joining the server and prevented the match and delayed the match just a little bit. If you are just tuning in, this is the first in a 2-match set that we will be casting for you guys tonight. The first between Running with Scissors and Bird Noises. Later on, hopefully, if this ever finishes, we'll get to Froyotech versus the Bugs. Like I said, we are waiting for that info so that we can get in, the players can get in, and we can bring you the hot TF2 action. Of course, this is week 8. This is the process week, so it should be a good match. Bird Noises are looking to make it into the playoffs, and to do that, they have to win now. We will bring that to you very shortly. Bear with us. And Avast, have your connections panned out a little bit?
Well, they say that they have the actual server info, but they have no idea how to give me the STV info.
Right. So I wonder if the best thing to do right now maybe is to throw it to a quick break, possibly.
Yeah, actually, we just got it.
We just got it.
I think we just got it. Yep.
All right. So break averted. All right. So we have the info. Let's grab that. We will hop into that. Hopefully, the players now, Avast, are all ready to go.
I hope so too.
Well, what else can we say? What else can we say about these teams? They're good teams. They like to play TF2. I think that's about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's an important game. Got playoff implications on the line. Got old IM rivalries on the line. And I think it can really, and I think it's in many ways, it's a measure, it's a process to see, because we've also seen in the past that Bird Noises has beaten Runner with Scissors in this invite. In their invite season this season, and I think that it's really just a final test between many of these players personally to see who's improved more over the season. And one great thing about watching newer invite teams competing that especially have rivalries in the past is that you generally get to see the best TF2 possible, especially if they have close records. And I think all of these players are definitely pretty close, in my personal opinion. And I think we're going to see, and the great thing about that is that we're going to see some great TF2.
Yeah, we do have 9 in the server. So, Avast, it does look like the players are going to start to filter in, which is great. Like you mentioned, equal skill all around. And, one of the other great things about casting a match like this, and even though it's not Froyotech versus Ronin, right? It's not like the tippy top of Invite. This is still Invite, and this is still what high-level TF2 has to offer. So it's cool to see if you can pick out while these teams are fighting each other. It's cool to see where they are exactly on that measuring stick, because they're not at the top. They're not Froyotech. They're not Ronin. But as we watch them play, we'll be able to see just where they fit in, and you only really get to see that when they play teams of equal skill. When you have the middle of Invite playing the bottom of Invite, or the top of Invite playing the bottom of Invite, or even the middle playing the top, you don't really get to see exactly where a team is at. But when they're so evenly matched, that's when the skill is going to come out. Teams really have to dig down and show us what they have, because they're on the best footing to do that. So as we do filter in, we do have now 12 in the server at Avast.
And we will be able to start readying up here, BloodSire too.
They're gonna ready up, and we will be able to show everybody, hopefully, everything we've been talking about.
Yep, and it looks like the Canadian players seem to have decent ping at the very least, so they will be sated. Their constant whining will be placated for now, BloodSire. And also, I think, yeah, it looks like they have everyone in here, so we're really just waiting on that. So we're just looking for both teams to ready up and get started here.
Now, I am looking at the ping values, and I see that Hellbent is on 88 ping, and he seems to be the tippy top here in the server. Sen over on Running with Scizors is actually 16, so he's living next to the server. He's probably using it as a dinner table, whereas Hellbent, the soldier for Bird Noises, he doesn't have the greatest ping, and you know that's could be a problem because having that 88 ping rocket isn't the best. It's not ideal situations for a soldier to deal with. So we'll have to see if that comes into it. For Bird Noises here, of course, Sen is a scout for Running with Scizors. High ping for scouts really isn't that bad. He's got low ping, which really also doesn't really make a huge difference. Whereas on soldier for Hellbent, I just see him tick up to 90 now. That could be an issue.
Yeah, definitely. And for those that are just joining us, this is Running with Scizors versus Bird Noises, with Running with Scizors being 6th place and Bird Noises being 5th. And we have some possible playoff implications here in this game, with Running with Scizors already out of the running, and Bird Noises, if they win this game, could possibly still make it into playoffs and surpass 20B. So it should be an interesting match for everyone involved, and a good game to watch. And I think that we're hopefully getting ready to go live soon.
Yeah, I think I see players readying up as of now, and as you mentioned, this is the beginning of the road for Bird Noises. They have to win here, then they get to take their fate, put it in their own hands when they play against Street Hoops in the future. And of course, Street Hoops are in their way, and as we see, setup classes, that text, we're going to find out exactly what the Bird Noises have brought today, tonight, on process to have that future come true here as the match does go live, Avast. We are finally getting ready to go with this match. And I'm going to put my eye onto Running with Scizors Jarrett right away and see what he can do on this middle as he gets a huge skip, and he is there at 945. Very, very quick. Going to pick up that health pack. Going to be in great position with great health to get some early spam in on that middle. Now in come the remainder of both teams here, both vying for position. No frags as of yet. Both teams exchanging spam and picking and jabbing at each other. Still very, very tentative is this middle. Nobody wants to make the first move. We have Sen across the top box, going to eat himself a rocket. Still playing very, very safe over on that blue side. Both teams switched and hanging around by the rocks. Nobody wants to make this first move. Here comes a bomb from Rakuso. Looks like Running with Scizors want to get something going here. But there comes the counter jumps from both blue soldiers on top of theirs. And still, Avast, nobody dead. Both teams still jabbing at each other. Nobody wants to die. Everybody knows what's on the line here for Bird Noises. We do have a soldier in the back as Sen finally opens it up. Van is going to follow with Revenge Kill. Finally, we're going to have frags fall. And by a war of attrition, it looks like Running with Scizors are going to take that first middle.
Yeah, that has to be one of the most passive mids I've seen in a very long time. And Vol actually still peeking this choke very aggressively. As the rest of them, they were not really holding choke very aggressive. But both of the teams were just sitting there spamming until eventually Deathy went behind and Bird Noises went to go kill Deathy, and Hellbent as well had been exchanged behind the Running with Scizors team. And then they just sort of gave it up because Running with Scizors went back through their own choke to fight Deathy. And that was the entire reason that they pretty much lost this mid, because the health and the players were almost equal. And actually, Deathy bombing in here. And here comes Rakuso too. It looks like they're trying to open up for him to get a bomb. He's going to get mulched pretty fast though. And Hellbent counter bombing and him getting mulched too. And Sky taking a meaty rocket, but still at a solid 60 HP. Both teams just spamming here at choke. And it looks like we're just going to equalize.
Not that great of a move, though, for Hellbent, because we do see there are 2 seconds left, and Rakuso is just about up, whereas there are still 6 seconds on this Hellbent spawn, so if Running with Scizors want to, they can start to go right now. I like the idea that when you get a pick, you try to look for another pick, and then you go, but you don't want to just bomb in and throw away your life, because then, like you said, you put things on an equal footing, and the advantage your team has is totally wasted, but no moves from Running with Scizors is going to reset the situation here. We're going to have Bird Noises defending their second point, and you know, based on what I've seen so far, it looks like Bird Noises might be feeling the pressure a little bit, as we do have a sniper. Take a look. Running with Scizors Sen over on Choke's going to be healed up, and he's going to have his little cozy camper on. Going to take the charge for a walk here. See if he can get any picks here. There's a scout on him, picking and poking, but he's going to have to back it up. His team there is there to support him. But now, Avast, they have this sniper do Running with Scizors, and they didn't make sure that they get something going. Otherwise, it's a wasted pick.
Yep, and they're doing the right thing in my opinion. I don't like peeking snipers through choke. They're going to the sewer side with Sin peeking out from the very far, and he's going to get Hellbent So one pick, and they've also pinned Indus to the side of the Spire, so there's no heals able to really be rotated. The players have to come to Indus, and now running with Scizors are trying to pressure in the Bird Noises here on this point. They still have the pick. Van took some early damage, so they will have height control now, and there's going to be a pop out from Indus and a following pop from Sky with a slightly better Uber from Red here, and I imagine running with Scizors is going to follow in after this.
Yeah, and it looks like the rest of running with Scizors are just staying out, trying to get in once those Ubers are finally wiped out. Here comes a bomb from Vol's going to take down Sen over on the choke side, and Hellbent's going to take down Deathy too. So Evil Muffins, though, with 2. Takes down both Vol and Hellbent. Then comes Rakusa with a rocket onto Van here. So advantage still in favor of running with Scizors, who are slowly starting to bully out this Bird Noise team. And, you know, as I was saying before, I do think I'm seeing a little bit of fear in Bird Noises, who realize the situation and don't want to make any mistakes. But sometimes when you're that tense and you don't want to make any mistakes, that's the mistake you make. You're not fluid enough. You're not able to get your game ever rolling because you're just worried about making a mistake. So now they are back on their last. They are grinding out that Uber and going to have a little bit of an advantage here. So they're going to have to defend no problem. But again, they have to worry about Sen here, who is on Sniper. He's going to be looking for that opening pick once again.
He will get Hellbent. He body shot and then a quick scope, pretty much, I guess, following it up. And now they're going to get that player, and they're going to look to work Sin, I imagine, in this far right in the lobby. They can definitely do it. They have Uber. I really want them to be aggressive with Sin here and try to get this pick. Indus is actually pinned right now behind the other side, and actually hit really good spam from Deathy, getting the force out from Indus. Indus taking that Uber into lobby. Sky is going to be forced to pop now, but they should be able to pick at least one person. Oh man, a little bit scattered play. They're going to pick up Link User, and they're going to still follow in here from this right side, but Muffin's going down. I think they're going to lose Rakuso too, so I think running with Scizors are actually going to get out of this lobby side.
Yeah, they're going to stabilize all the Bird Noises, and a great job grabbing that second frag onto Rakuso. Now, they have the position, and Vol's going to take down Sen too, so this is looking much, much better for Bird Noises, who are up by 2 players. They're going to get a Scout and a Soldier on the point. Backing up now are running with Scizors, who don't have the bodies or the presence to defend second. And Bird Noises, they still have a pick here, and they have 5 seconds to work with if they decide to go in, but here's where we get to see how they're feeling in this match. They are massing by choke, but they're not going to go. Yeah, and it looks like they're just going to poke and have to be forced back to defend here. And I would have liked to see them get a little bit more aggressive, Avast, over by that choke side and try to get in and use that to their advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a sign, in my opinion, of teams, of really strong teams that look to find those openings and transitions. And Rakuso actually trying to bomb in. He had a little bit of a failed jump, but he's on Indus. Such a good bomb. Indus is going to drop. Oh my goodness, that was an incredible bomb from Rakuso. Oh, actually, I would say it was a decent bomb from Rakuso, but he hit a really, really nice rocket onto Indus through the planks, and Deathy's going to pick up Hellbent, and now it looks like they're going to pick up Van as well. Van will take up Jared, but now all they have to do is play tight around their medic and make sure that Sky does not go down.
Van went to Jarrett and got him down, but it's not going to be anything of importance, as all the frags otherwise are falling for running with Scizors. Of course, the big thing was Indust, who went down. I don't think he quite had the Uber just yet.
No, he did. It was a drop.
No. He did, okay,
yep,
so he did drop that Uber, and now he's got a Scout and a red Uber in his face. There is a blue sentry over on that right side that running with Scizors have to contend with. It's still alive and doing work here as one does go down, but Deathy's going to take down that sentry before it does any more work, and now Bird Noises are trying to stabilize. That sentry goes up, it's a level 1, and oh my goodness, Avast. But take a look.
Sin is still behind. Oh, Sin's going to get cleaned up. Jared's going to clean it up.
Yeah.
And a lack of focus fire, in my opinion. With that push, Deathy did go behind. They took out the sentry pretty early, and then I disagree with Deathy's move there. Once he took out the sentry to jump up top, I think he could have just stuffed them in the spawn while the rest of his team played point, but he decided to jump up top and sort of deny his team that that damage and area denial on their right spawn door, which sort of let them get out and fight the point a lot more aggressively. And now we're going to see Bird Noises coming in very aggressive. Vol's going to go down. Bad health on Link User as well. Muffins will go down. Deathy's up top getting spammed, but both the scouts, actually, Bird Noises, are pretty hurt, and they might be actually winning the spam battle here with Running with Scizors.
Yeah, and we do have to keep in mind that Running with Scizors do have that spawn advantage, so they are going to be reinforced way before the Bird Noises are, and with Bird Noises failing to make any other moves here, if they don't back out soon, they're going to find themselves in trouble. But look, first to the fight is that Bird Noises player, so they are going to have the opportunity to get in on middle, and there goes the frag on Hellbent, but now we have a scout. That's Evil Muffins trying to get things going. He's going to be stuffed by that scatter, and this is a great job from Bird Noises, denying completely the red team. Unfortunately, Indus did have to pop his Uber, and Sky got out of there before she ever had to worry about being in trouble. In fact, she didn't have it, so she didn't need to worry about popping it, but now she's going to have it, and now the onus is on Bird Noises to take that Uber out of her hands.
Yep, and both the soldiers are not quite on the second void here, and they won't be healed for this initial push, but they will be up now. Hellbent's going to get out through sewers. Bird Noises could have definitely tried to force some sort of conflict, try to get the pop out of Sky while they were down those soldiers, but they decided to play a little bit more conservatively, which we've been seeing from them. And now here comes Running with Scizors, being very aggressive, definitely taking the upper crates, and Bird Noises getting out through choke. But I want to see Running with Scizors still chase here, BloodSire, because their Uber advantage is narrowing. In fact, it's going to be almost zero very, very soon.
Yeah, they were able to buy that Uber without buy that middle without spending Uber, which is a great thing to happen, but they did allow Bird Noises to get that Uber, like you said, so they are going to trade Ubers here, as Vol does take down Deathy, who they also trade teammates to both of these teams, as we have two players now back in the lower lobby for blue team, but they are going to get mulched by Van, who takes down Rakuso and Evil Muffin, still trying to go here, as both scouts are leading the charge for Bird Noises in through their choke. Oh, the medic and the Devilman need to get out of there. He tried to put up a trap to Jarrett, and that is going to cost him his medic. Down goes Sky, down goes himself. It cost him too much, and that is going to be Bird Noises taking the cap with a clean take. Nobody went down there. Still 3 down, no forward spawns for Running with Scizors. Bird Noises Avast, they're going to get in.
Yep, and that was a great chase from Bird Noises, and a little bit of an overcommit from Running with Scizors, because once they were losing that fight, they really need to start backing up a lot sooner and recognize what was going to happen there. But they stayed a little bit too close. And actually, Muffins is going to pick up Link User with a nice body shot from, I believe, Lobby. Or maybe it was Shutter Door. I actually did not see where he peeked from. It was a good, really good from him, in fact, if I couldn't see it in the bird's eye view. And they're going to be holding last. They will have a 40% disad. They might just wait. It looks like Birders might just wait for Link User before pushing, which, you know, they have the advantage to do so. And with this heavy class, I would like to see them push through lobby, since the whole point of the heavy will be just to deny their Uber and just sit there and tank it for a bit. But they're taking some time, and Sky's going to get it very, very soon. In fact, I don't even know they're going to push.
No, they ran out with the sniper, did Link User and Bird Noises, so they already plan to allow Ubers to equalize here and just wait and go on the pick game. But that is going to put a lot of pressure on Link User here, as he really needs to make things happen for his team. Like you mentioned. Oh, actually, we do have a counter sniper now over on the red side. So Sen is going to be looking for a reverse pick for his team here. So it is a war of the snipers, a battle of the snipers. We'll have to see who can do it first. Of course, it is on Link User if he wants to allow his team the chance here to get the first round. Because can you believe it, Avast? We are still in the first round.
Yep, it's been very, very back and forth with great plays and a little bit of misplays as well that have just brought us into this scenario once again. And I think we're just going to be expecting to see a very heated sniper battle in this lobby area, because this is generally where the best sightlines can be had without being easily contested compared to rollout and the shutter door on the right. And we're just pretty much waiting for these two snipers to get a pick on something, or even each other.
Still got my eye on Link User, seeing what he can do. Decides to get himself a buff. Now he's going to charge up very, very passively. Oh, I didn't know there was a soldier there. But that soldier is going to back it up. He's still just looking for the opportunity, taking his time. And again, you know, with what is riding on this match, the possibility for Bird Noises to potentially have a playoff spot, it looks like the Bird Noises team, they don't want to make any mistakes. They're playing very cautiously, and look at that. Link User was not in a position to counter that sniper. Sen's going to get in and take down Vol, and I don't know how Hellbent went down, but he also did. So with 2 picks, that is going to open it up for Running with Scizors to try to get in here, and having to back up to the choke now is Bird Noises, who now Rakuso's bombing in. Oh, but he's going to get shot out of the air.
Pop from Sky. Such an unbelievably early pop. I don't know what they might have been scared by Link User on Sniper, looking at them through rollout, but they popped through on Rakuso, and Rakuso failed the skip jump through ramp, and so was unable to get on top of Indus, and that was a full Uber advantage, and there's gonna be Hellbent bombing in very deep for Sky. Sky very hurt. They're fighting them on the shutter door. They're all out here. This is actually a very poor spot for running with Scizors in terms of health and positioning, and Sin's gonna go down now. It's 2 down for running with Scizors, no Ubers, and better health on the Bird Noises side, and they're going to be trying to get into this last.
Yeah, this is the opportunity for Bird Noises here, as they do have the man advantage, but still not. They have to cap that second, actually, so that's why they're a little bit tentative here, and there will be full bodies up for both teams by the time they do cap second, and the Uber advantage is in favor of the defending side. We can see Sky, she's got 93% because Hellbent, with that great bomb, did put Sky very, very low in that last exchange, but was unfortunately not able to finish the kill. So what about a 40% disparity in Ubers here? Running with Scizors do want to come out of rollout, but Hellbent in a great position to start denying with some rockets here. Does just that. That's Scout very hurt. Evil Muffin's on the ground here. His team can't support him. Down goes Vol, and that is going to allow the Ubers to equalize, and Running with Scizors have to back it out to their last. That's going to put Link User back on Sniper, and once again, Avast, we are going to rotate things and sort of equalize.
Yep, and Link User once again trying to get a Sniper pick. Sin's going to win the Sniper duel, picking out Link User there. And it's pretty much going to be evened out in terms of picks, but Link User won't be up for another second. And now they're trying to peek Sin through this rollout with the support of Deathy. He's going to be looking towards this bat area, hoping someone will peek him. And he does have Cozy Camper, so he can eat spam before firing. But nah, he's just going to get picked off, actually. And Deathy went down. A huge misplay from Running with Scizors. And Avast Bird Noises, I really want them to punish this. They're looking like they're streaming through this lobby area, popping very early, putting a lot of good damage on Jarrett. Jarrett is caught. They can pick off Jarrett. Jarrett's going to go down, and their Uber's going to end, and now Sky's going to pop her Uber, but they're down many players here. Link User did go down as well from Bird Noises. Jarrett is still going to be down for a while, and Muffin's going to pick up Bull, and it looks like this could be a Running with Scizors defense.
I think they're going to hold it here. Sky had so much Uber and never popped. She was just looking at the blue Uber, which totally ignored her, and she was just looking at it saying, I don't have to pop. There's nothing on me. Finally, she popped it to save some bodies, but that's fine. She allowed all of her players, for the most part, to stay alive. They spawned up to the people who did die. And now they are 5 here, 5 strong on the point. They're going to recap it, and a misstep from Bird Noises, who did not get on the enemy medic. They wanted those frags, but guys, first, please take out the other team's Uber by at least forcing them to pop. So now we are going to see Running with Scizors with an advantage because they did not lose Sky, and Bird Noises back into middle. They're going to have to slowly try to defend this, and really, Avast, the best thing that they can do here is try to have Sky pop and then get back to second with hopes to leapfrog the Uber.
And their spam is so good on this choke right now, BloodSire. They're going to pick up Muffins. Deathy got hurt. Sky's hurt. Sky's going to pop. Jarrett is very hurt, so he cannot chase either. And actually, that was a fantastic coordinated spam there from Bird Noises, and I want them to actually repush here with Muffins down and not great health. Deathy's bombing aggressively. He should get cleaned up here on this rock side. Deathy's going to go down. Sin is hurt. Sai's going to pick up Sin. Rakuso is unable to bomb. Link User pressuring him, and this is going to be a Bird Noises recap and tons of picks here for Bird Noises.
Yeah, they didn't even have to leave there with the Uber. I wanted them to just make sure that Sky spent her Uber. They did that, and then they didn't get bullied out, so they were able to stay in, keep the pressure on, keep the spam coming in. You can see them now pushing into second, getting those frags, and they are in great position to cap this second. Indust has his Uber. There are 3 down for Running with Scizors, and this could finally be the big advantage that Bird Noises have been hoping for this entire time, for them finally to make themselves go 1-up in this series so far. So here comes the Uber on the left side. Scouts are going to get it first, but no frags as of yet. Scouts still going strong here. All 6 members up. Oh, look at the time on the point. Nobody there to stop it. Put 1 on the board for Bird Noises. And gets the point, and they get the first round.
Yeah, I mean, pretty solid last push from Bird Noises, because, you know, you've casted me in the past, and I've always elaborated about the need to put on time for these last points in every last push, and Bird Noises did a great job of putting their scouts, pressuring that point, and then jumping Hellbent onto it with his health, and just trying to draw them to the point, and he just capped it out because they were too afraid to commit. And now here on this next mid, it looks like we're once again seeing a little bit of a kind of a passive, spammy mid once again from these two teams.
if I were running with Scizors, knowing that Bird Noises are playing like this, I would bomb both my soldiers, because you know where their team's going to be. They're going to be playing back because they're scared or they're cautious. I would play overly aggressive to compensate for that, but it's not going to happen this time for them, as running with Scizors, they sort of balance out. They both play a little tentative, and then that's going to allow Bird Noises to finally get the one pick, which snowballs into a lot of picks. In fact, it snowballs into a full team wipe here, which is going to be one person capping middle, and the rest of Bird Noises on second on that Spire, already capping, and Avast already pushing into last with Uber.
Yeah, a really good chase from Bird Noises, getting those picks and chasing them to last. Well, they had one player capping. They're going to pick up Deathy very early as well. The Heavy is sitting in the door, and they just run to point, sit their scouts there, and cap it because of how passive running with Scizors are. And this is looking to be quite a dominating couple of rounds here for running with Scizors, or with Bird Noises, I should say, after that initial cap.
Yeah, the first round took a long time, almost about 10 minutes. The second round took about 1 minute. So, you know, the best of both worlds here, and we'll have to see what running with Scizors do this time. Like I said, I want to see them go hyper-aggressive to sort of offset this hyper-passive play that Bird Noises are rolling out to middle. They are going to collect their players now around the rock, are running with Scizors, but still playing it kind of slow. Here come the bombs, though. The soldiers are going to come in. They're going to pick down Van, and that's going to put Bird Noises back on their back heel, but not before they have a soldier themselves bomb in. That's Ball trying to get work going. He's going to be joined by a scout. Frags are going to fall from running with Scizors, but they have to deal with this scout on the point. Both scouts trying to take him down. So far, no one can do it. Link user running around the map there finally gets cleaned up, and I like what I saw out of running with Scizors in that middle.
Yep, and a Sky did stay alive as well, so we're going to see an uber advantage here in the hands of running with Scizors, and a lot better mid. I think you had a great call with saying you need to counter this super passive play by trying to take advantage of all the space they give you. And they sort of did. They bombed their soldiers very aggressively, got those picks. Sky ran out while was able to survive because she had been split from the rest of her team in that sort of messy after fight. And I want to see running with Scizors here utilize their advantage. And they're sort of just going in blind, and I really wish they had scouted because I don't think they know they have an engineer right now or a heavy.
Yeah, full turtle mode coming out from Bird Noises, who are in it for the long haul, the long defense here. There's a heavy stacked above the sentry. Sentry goes down, but the heavy's still alive, still putting in those bullets. Sasha is revved up and ready to deal pain, and running with Scizors are feeling it. Everybody but Sky goes down. Indus still. He's managed to stay alive, so he's going to hold on to the Uber advantage that he has, and Avast, it's going to be a full Uber advantage.
Yeah, and you know, I feel like a lot of it has to do with the fact that they had literally no idea that they had those off classes. They had no scouting beforehand, and so they just went so aggressive with their Uber to this left side, and they really had no position and focus fire on these classes like the engineer and heavy that they do before. And now we're seeing a very fast and aggressive retake from Bird Noises taking this midpoint. There's going to be no pop for Indus either, so they're going to be having this full Uber coming into the second.
So now what running with Scizors have to do is they have to make Indus here spend this Uber, otherwise they're going to have to fight a full Uber back on their last here. It doesn't look like anybody is in position to cause Indus any reason to pop or think about popping, so that is going to be a full clean take, but Indus is going to pop very early. I guess one of his players was very hurt, and that's going to cause the blue push to be in on that left side. Sky with 70% just about might get this Uber if they manage to defend. Down goes Vol. Teams are at 5-on-5 apiece. The Uber still continues to tick up. Nobody on last Avast. This is good for Sky and good for running with Scizors because they are in position here to finally get this Uber and defend.
Yep, and looks like some pretty good play from running with Scizors to kite that Uber, and Deathy doing a good job to do tons of damage to two flank players from Bird Noises in that lobby, which prevented them from following up after that push. And I don't think running with Scizors are good. Actually, they are. They're coming through the shutter door. They're trying to walk through lots of spam. It's going to be early pop. Hellbent doing lots of damage. Hellbent's going to go down. And it looks like Linkyzer's caught in IT, but Van on last. Van's going to get it, I'm pretty sure.
Sneaky Van. Lane was not covered. Got to check your lanes when you're leaving last. Unfortunately, one was left unmanaged, and that's going to allow Van to sneak in, give his team the third round, and very relatively quickly, we are sent to the half here with Bird Noises up 3-0. A slow first round where teams sort of felt each other out, but then Bird Noises with two fairly quick caps there, and they have to be feeling good about themselves as they get ready to head into half number 2.
Yeah, I'm sure they're very, very confident right now after that long first round. And you know what I was saying earlier, BloodSire, is that sometimes our predictions and past performance and you know, individual player stats and such can be thrown out the window when a team comes out firing on all cylinders. And I think Bird Noises, after that, you know, some of the slower play of that first round, I think Bird Noises has found their footing and are really punishing Running with Scissors and playing a style of TF2 that I think they're much better at and is much better in general.
Absolutely, and we mentioned that they might be playing a little bit more tentative, might be feeling the pressure of the match, but they've, like you said, really settled into it now. And as they grab that third round with no rounds against them, they're gonna have to be feeling strong going into the half. So it'll be interesting to see on middle if they change their strategy a little bit, decide to bring it to Running with Scissors this time, give them a different look. But sitting 3 rounds up to 0. They're in the driver's seat, and we'll have to see what they can do round 2.
Yep, and for those of us just joining, it's 3-0 at the half in favor of Bird Noises. Running with Scissors still having no points in this first half, as opposed to the 3 of Bird Noises, obviously. And we're looking to go into the second half here after a very slow round from the 2 teams and just 2 dominating rounds from Bird Noises. And it looks like no, I thought they were ready up, but they're not ready up just yet. I think Running with Scissors is taking the time to sort of, you know, collect themselves, talk over the strategies, hopefully de-tilt anyone that has been tilted, because that can be a factor in terms of Mumble atmosphere when, you know, start having demoralizing losses.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the stats here at the half while we have some time, and Van, holy cow, Van right now, 20 frags, 4 deaths, with 247 damage done a minute, 5,270 done total. In fact, 3 members on Bird Noises are sitting above 5k damage, whereas nobody on the Running with Scissors side is sitting at above 5. They're all at about 4, with Jarrett at 3, and that's especially bad for Jarrett being the demo man. You want to see that demo damage up a little bit higher, but I think the big highlight here at the half is Van on Scout going 20 frags to 4 deaths, having a great game so far.
Actually, and I would like to follow up with both Sai and Vol as well are having fantastic games. Vol just seems to be playing a very solid pocket play as of right now, getting lots of damage, following up, being a fluid soldier, because I personally feel, and I think some of the best methods for process is less heal heavy, and more of trying to use that soldier during as an opener during these transitions and giving your heals to your demo and scouts. And Sai as well has been playing exceptionally well. And I think Jarrett's been having a tough time, considering he's actually sitting at the bottom of you know, damage for the server, and only has 1 frag.
Yeah, I mean, and if you look at the numbers of Psy Guy, the demo man, over on Bird Noises, he has 253 damage done a minute, whereas Jarrett only has 157, so almost 100 damage different done a minute. That is so huge, because the demo man is the backbone of the team in terms of damage. If your demo isn't there, putting in the spam, ticking off the health and the HP points from the enemy, your scouts aren't going to be able to perform as well as they'd like. The bombs aren't going to be as successful because everyone's going to be more healthy. So it just all kind of snowballs from there. So I don't know if it's part of the Bird Noises game plan to take out Jarrett, but it looks like they are doing that, and they are doing that well, because Jarrett so far having a very tough time getting it going, at least in that first half. So I think moving forward into this second half, he really needs to step it up if Running with Scissors want to have even a little bit of a shot. And if I want my prediction of 5-4 in favor of them to come true, Jarrett, you got to help me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I need the Running with Scissors team to also help my dreams come true with getting the 5-3, you know. So, I mean, I'd still be right technically because I'm predicting for Bird Noises, but, you know,
I'll be right. We get it. You were the smarter guy.
I mean, you can't blame me, BloodSire, for having such a massive brain.
No, I can't. I will, but I can't. But anyway, yeah, so a little bit of a longer halftime of Avast here. So I wonder if Running with Scissors are sort of maybe they got the demo early and they're reviewing it. You know, they're watching it as a team, deciding, hey, what did we do wrong? Let's break it down and fix that. I don't know, but yeah, a little bit of a longer break than we're used to seeing teams take here in the half. And as I say that, I pressure them into readying up, so that will signify that we're about to start again.
Yeah, but it looks like we're getting here to the second middle point. And I actually think I'm going to watch Sai and see how he wants to play this middle, because I think he's been having a pretty big impact. And I want to see if BloodSire still wants to play this passive mid route.
Well, looks like Sai went over on that right side. He's going to be joined by his team over by the rocks and by the lower shack there on middle. And running with Scizors, they're not going with that hyper-aggressive strat this time around, although we are going to see Rakuso try to get something going. Hellbent's going to bully him out of his position over by that red health, but now bomb comes in from Val over on the blue hell. He's going to get sent sky high. The frags come in. Jarrett gets one. Thank you, Jarrett. Evil Muffins, Rakuso are also going to join the party, so that is going to be 3 picks for running with Scizors. They can now leave a scout to cap and then run ahead to second point where Rakuso is fighting Psy Guy. Down goes Psy Guy, and it looks like the shoe is on the other foot because running with Scizors came out of the gates swinging. They are capping second, and they're going to get ready to push into last.
Yeah, and that was a great mid from Jared, actually. Just what we need to see from him, because he did so much damage to 2 of the running with Scizors players on the right side where they tried to take their health back. And we're going to see an early pop here from Deathy, and they're trying to force Indus. Indus just now popping. Deathy's going to be up top, going to be mulched by Van on heavy. Sort of an Uber that didn't do very much at all. They popped in so aggressively with Deathy, and they just did nothing aside from force Indus Uber. They didn't get any really position after that.
Not like this. That's not like this. I don't understand why that Uber happened. It was the Uber to nowhere, and it was a solo Uber, and it was equal advantage. Did they not know? I don't know. We'll never know. But because of that misstep, BloodSire are going to say thank you very much. We will take the second point back. And now we will look to take the middle point back because we have more numbers than you, and we are coming in to fight you, and they're doing just that. Rakuso's going to have to bomb himself back. We have a bomb coming in from Vol onto Deathy. Down he goes. Jarrett now trying to put some pipes into him. They are not going to connect. We have Link User now on the point, trying to push out. Does just that. Out go running with Scizors. BloodSire's cap very cleanly, and both Ubers are going to be equal. And I wonder if running with Scizors know that.
I would hope they do know that. And really right now, even though that I really want them to see to actually try to pressure a flank possibly with a soldier down, or maybe even a counter sack, because the Ubers are equal, but it looks like they actually want to be very hyper aggressive. Coming through the choke, Jarrett is all the way in. He has no support from his team, and Sai's going to get a big pipe on him and kill Jarrett and get some good damage on Sky. So kind of a misplay from running with Scizors. It looks like they wanted to go through that choke, especially Jarrett, but they just sort of let him go in alone. And Sai is in so aggressively right now, all the way through choke. They need to pick up Sai. He needs to go down. They're going to pick up Sai. They're going to pick up Hellbent on the flank as well. And Indus and the rest of the team is going to be backing up through the choke.
Now, that's completely different from what we've seen BloodSire do in the first half. They were very tentative. They would have never pushed like that, but feeling good, feeling up 3 rounds to 0. They came in, they tried it. I like the idea there. Of course, the execution wasn't quite there. So running with Scizors are going to recap middle. Both Ubers stayed where they are, so both teams have held on to them, and they will have them to fight this next exchange. But BloodSire are going to be forced back to their second here off the back of that hyper-aggressive play that didn't quite work out for them. Now, running with Scizors are messing sort of by IT, getting their buffs in. Really on them here because they are down 3 rounds, and if they want to play spoiler for the future of BloodSire, they need to start taking those rounds quickly, and that is all going to start, or it has to start, with this next Uber push here, Avast. So we're going to have to see what they have to pick this second defense.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think that counterplay from BloodSire was hyper aggressive. They just didn't follow up with Sai at all. He walked in through choke and was sort of just sitting there on the bats area, climbing up the ramp, and was completely alone, and then was able to die. And actually, Sai's gonna have a trap waiting for Rakuso as he tries to bomb, and he's gonna pick up Rakuso. So I imagine that BloodSire might just try to counter sack here, or it looks like they're being aggressive, kind of aggressive with Link peeking to choke. And here comes Hellbent, gonna be going for a sack on Sky. He's on midpoint, he's gonna get killed there, and I think they're just gonna back up now.
That's the second time we've seen that play from Hellbent, and I do not like it. I don't understand. So if you're on offense, you want to bomb a soldier in to try to make the defense either drop a player or pop their Uber. But if you're on your second, if you're on defense looking for a way in and you have one pick, don't bomb a soldier. Go in as a team, pressure with spam, then if you see the opening, then you bomb. If you bomb in, you're basically sacrificing a player, and you basically turn the advantage back around. So running with Scizors, they take that, and they're going to take their Uber into second. They don't get a frag, though, as Van takes down Rakuso. So things are going to equalize now, and no team is really going to be slapped on the wrist for it. Oh, but here comes Vol again. Vol going to go with the bomb and then back out, and then he's going to break the server because it's paused.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Yeah, and you know, just to elaborate on your point, BloodSire, I will agree with you that I would say that you'll notice a very big difference between the top of Invite and, you know, the sort of mid to lower side of Invite when you see the advantages they try to work off of picks. Because I think a lot of teams at the top level, like Ascent or Froyo and things like that, would have tried to work that pick instead of bombing. But Bird Noises really likes to, they're really trying to play it passively, I think, with their round advantage. And instead of trying to fall off that pick and be aggressive and risk a lot for it, because it is riskier, they decided to just try to bomb the soldier for the force, since they're both going to be equal players still. So, I mean, a more conservative play, but I would agree that in many ways, it just sort of takes away from the advantage they have.
See, I don't know. I kind of think it's a little bit more risky to bomb that soldier in, because whereas if you're on defense, you have everything to lose, because if you lose the point, you're back on your next point, and you know you're one step closer to losing. If you bomb in and you throw away that player's life, now you're taking away the 6-man advantage that you have. If you guys go as a team and you scout it out and you work with team fight, as long as your medic makes sure, that's the big risk. If your medic comes in or tries to join the fight, you put your medic in position to be counter-bombed or to be picked, and that's the only risk you have to sort of manage. But if you go in as a team and look first, I think it's a much safer play to support the player, to support the spam. And then if you get the pick, then you go. If you don't get the pick, you back it up and you keep the 6-5 advantage, because if you're at 5-5 on defense, that's going to favor the offense. If you're at 6-5 on defense, obviously it favors the defense. So I think the even numbers always favors the offense in that situation. And I just don't see why you would take that risk to bomb in like that. It's almost like you know, I see your point. Like, it's almost like, hey, okay, we're up rounds. We're just going to try to bomb in and take away the Uber and see what happens. Like, but I don't want to see that play. And if Bird Noises do win here and they allow themselves to continue on in the season and possibly take down Street Hoops next week or in the future, I don't want to see plays like that from them. I want to see more team coordinated plays. It just seems like a cop-out when you send one guy in to take away that Uber, because most of the times he's going to die. And then he's probably not going to get the pop. So I don't know. I just see it as throwing away your life when there could be a better option. Don't do it. There's a better way.
Wow, that sounds like some sort of motivate. Actually, we're gonna unpause.
I'm gonna
hold off that commentary. And Sin's gonna go down to Vol, and it looks like Bird Noises here are gonna be getting out. And Deathy might actually go down. He's so hurt. Jarrett actually goes down to a bomb from Hellbent, and they're still backing up the second. Bird Noises are chasing here through this choke point, and it looks like Vol is actually going to get mulched by Muffins. And here comes Rakuso onto Indus. He hasn't hit a rocket, but oh, he's going to get Indus with a great air shot in the choke point. And it looks like here comes the rest of Bird Noises to try to pick up Sky.
Yeah, Sky. Oh, Sky is going to go down. Van there, flying through the air, is going to take her out. Sky got turned around by that bombing soldier. Van was able to get in, continue his hot spree. Now he's fighting a scout in lower lobby, but Sen is going to be able to pick him up because Van was quite hurt there. But a great job from Bird Noises. When they saw Indus go down, that is free reign for you to try to get on the other team's medic. They did just that. They took her out, so things will equalize. Of course, Bird Noises still in control of the middle capture, will have the forward and faster respawn, so they will be back in time to defend. And with no bodies at choke, actually, though, Avast, they are allowing running with Scizors to get some intel and look to come into middle.
Yep, and there should be about equalized Uber since Indus went down as well. And I would actually not be surprised to see I wouldn't be surprised here to see another Bird Noises sack play, since we're looking at relatively equal Ubers.
Yeah, and, you know, there is something to be said about the fact that we are 3 up in favor of Bird Noises, so the onus really is on running with Scizors. If Bird Noises want, they could park the bus here on the middle point and still win the match. So, running with Scizors, although their season is over as Van takes down Jared as he sneaks in through sewer there. That is going to open it up for Bird Noises. So, I was going to say, running with Scizors need to have something happen for them, but fortunately something bad happens to them. And that is a sniper pick. Looks like Deathy lagged out. That must have been the pause. Yeah, that was the pause 2 minutes in the future there. So Van again takes down Sen. And Bird Noise is looking in great positioning here, in a great situation for them as they're going to push into last with Uber.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, even though Deathy did go down, they probably should have had eyes on that sewer anyways, so Van wouldn't be allowed to peek so aggressively. You should always be watching for that. And Hellbent's going to bomb very aggressively on Skye. Hellbent's going to get cleaned up, though. Skye at only about like half HP, and she's going to get back to resup and get some help. And we're just going to see a reset here. Deathy is back now, and Archam, and he's just spamming from this little right side. Actually get some decent spam rockets on the Indus, getting him down to about half health, get some good splash. And we're just going to be looking for possibly Sin actually get a pick. Sin on Sniper, and so is Van still.
Strong sniper play from Sen so far in this match, so I have my eye on him because he's really held it down for his team in similar situations. Let's see a scout peek his head as he is peeking over there by Rollout. He's going to go back, get himself a rebuff, and now look for an opportunity here. But Sen has been getting those picks when in these situations versus another sniper here. So we'll have to see who can break it this time. And Sen is sort of playing in a defensive position, so I'll switch it over to Van here, who's got his eye on that soldier, had his scout opening up that shutter door for him. And also Van in a very defensive sniper position. I haven't liked the way, Avast, that the Bird Noise snipers have chosen to run the sniper here on offense at all, because they're playing far back.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's because the Bird Noises snipers are probably not as good as the Running Scissor snipers. I think Sin and to a lesser degree Muffins are honestly the better sniping duo. They're both compared to like Link User and Van. Sin is a very, very talented sniper. Probably comes from maybe some of his rail aim in like Reflex and Quake and such, because he's a very talented arena shooter player.
Oh my goodness, and Sen just has his way with Van, and he says, you're gonna have that guy hold the door open for you? Alright, I'm gonna go and pick you. And what a ballsy play from Sen. He sidesteps, gets the headshot on the Van, but look at this, it's not gonna matter as Hellbent and Link User are able to take it down too, so they are going to make sure that they keep control of the second cap. But I do like what I saw out of Sen there. Had the cojones to peek over in the tunnel and take down that enemy sniper who was playing way too passive. But with a man advantage, looks like Running with Scissors did want to try to get some spam in, see if they can get some more bodies down. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for them. And things even out again, and it looks like we're going to have Hellbent try his chance on Sniper this time.
Yeah, and interesting, and Rakuso on Spy, by the way, BloodSire. So Rakuso is actually out into IT right now. He looks like he might be trying to come up behind the Bird Noises combo here, and Indus has his back to the wall, so it will be tough to backstab him. And here comes Rakuso right now. He's going to get Psy Guy. He's on Indus. He's battling him here in IT, and he's going to get picked up here by Van. But he did pick up Psy. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a more aggressive sniper peek from Sin, since there are going to be any sickies to deny these chokes.
I would have liked, I guess, so here's the thing. I guess Bird Noise are up 3 rounds, so they don't need to go in that situation, but I would have liked them again to snowball that one pick into a potential second pick by getting forward and getting some spam in. They don't need to because they're up 3 rounds. They don't have to actually put themselves in the sight line of Sen, who is going to manage to do it for himself and then take down Hellbent. So I guess that's exactly why, Avast, that we didn't see Bird Noises push in there at all, but Sen playing very strong on Sniper still, being the tower defense player here over for his team.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying earlier, I think he's a very talented sniper. I certainly think he's a little bit stronger than the Bird Noises team at sniping in particular. But I mean, despite all these picks and things like that, they just Running with Scissors has not been able to work anything they've got into a push in any way. And we're actually see a double bomb here from the soldiers trying to get in the lobby. Hellbent will go down though in that lobby side. And I wouldn't be surprised. Deathy is posturing very aggressively. It looks like he actually is Saki now, and he's going up in the sky, and he's about to die. So rest in peace.
Yep, down goes Deathy. Van with another frag there onto him, and I'm just still, I got my cam parked on Sen, who takes down Van, who peeked the shutter as a scout, saw a bunch of stickies at his feet, had a Wile E. Coyote moment, went uh-oh, and then had his head imploded in. So again, I'm still watching Sen here because he is the only one doing anything of note. It looks like he's gonna get aggressive at the shutter door. Thinks better of it and repositions, gets himself a buff once again, and moves around. But this is how you want to play Sniper if you're on the offense, everyone, if you're watching. You want to play Sniper aggressively to get the opening pick. This is a defensive player doing it. Not the best idea for him, but he's making it work by getting those picks. But that's what you want to see out of Van now, who has come back on Sniper. So let's switch it over to him and see how he elects to do it.
Yeah, and something you'll notice here, BloodSire, or at least I'm noticing, is that I feel like Bird Noises did head up. And also, Rakuso is back on Spy, by the way. He's out here on the second point. His team is trying to give him trying to peek and let him get some, get an opening. He's probably going to be decoking possibly on top of this point. The sniper won't see him. He's coming for this. He's on top of him. He gets Hellbent, and he's just going to run out. And Muffins is out on Indus, and he's going to go down. Odd choice for Muffins. I guess he tried to exploit the opening that Hellbent went down right there. But Bird Noises is still playing very conservatively. Because they have those 3 rounds up, and it looks like, and we might even get to the point where we see a end of round timer here, BloodSire, which has not happened very often, but it's happened once to me before in my play.
Yeah, 4 minutes until that happens, as Sen and Van sort of peek gazes and or exchange gazes and now exchange bullets and exchange some gunfire. See who can get that frag. In comes a soldier to try to bully out Sen. Can Sen get this player? No, Hellbent takes him down, but he is traded as Deathy is able to revenge his sniper and take down Hellbent. So this is going to open it up for Van. Van doesn't have to worry. Gets very aggressive, takes down that demo man, but no, it was a bait as Jared takes down Van, and Rakuso's going to join in,
and
take
this is
down
what they need.
Fall. Yeah, now they can finally push out here. Avast says you see ×2 on the point. The rest of Bird Noise is having to back out through IT. Finally, a point is going to change hands, and it's going to be put back in the hands of Running with Scizors, who are now trying to run into middle.
Yeah, and I want to see Running with Scizors still push here. They're going to pop very aggressively through, and Indus is going to drop again on a top. He's right near the point there, just sitting there, and Deathy lands on top of him and kills him. Vol's going to pick up Sin. Rakusa's going to go down, and Muffins and Deathy Jarrett should play close around their medic here. Jarrett pressuring point. He's going to pipe Van actually and get the pick, and Deathy pressuring out Sai. And I think Hellbent. Yeah, Sai is still in sewers. Deathy's trying to go for him. Deathy's on him. He's going to go down to Sai, though. But still, they got Indus, so we see an Uber advantage here from Running with Scizors.
Yeah, and that might put Indus a little bit on tilt there, because that is his second UCD there in this match so far. So certainly not what you want to see out of him, who is such a core part of that team. But a great job from Running with Scizors, getting in on middle, recognizing the situation, and taking the opportunity to bomb in aggressively. And that's how you work a bomb. You go with your team. If you have the opportunity, you take it. And great things can happen, as we just saw. So Uber's going to be up for Sky. No Uber for Indus as of yet, but Jarrett's is going to go down, and that is going to stunt things here for Running with Scizors, who sort of fall on their own sword. But Evil Muffins does take Vol and evens it out, but the blue Uber was forced to pop, and Indus is going to get hit, so Ubers are going to exchange. People are going to fly around on this second point. Van does take down Evil Muffins, and a little bit of a skirmish on the second point, but it's going to even out, as we do have Running with Scizors needing to get back because of Avast. Here come Bird Noises.
Yep, and you know, sort of a hesitation, because they were trying to get that pick in lower IT, but they could have waited to do that and instead just use the Uber into the combo, but they tried to get that pick. And here comes Bird Noises taking this point very, very aggressively, spamming out IT. There actually is good damage on the Bird Noise soldiers, but the scouts are going to actually chase out Running with Scizors through choke, and I think they're just going to be content to let this mid go now, Running with Scizors, that is.
Yeah, Ubers are going to even out, and Bird Noises once again in control of a middle cap, and sitting up 3-0, they really don't need to do much more. And, you know, this is why you see Bird Noises 6 and 7 in 5th place, and Running with Scizors 5 and 7 in 6th place. Not a whole lot of difference, but just enough difference to determine who the better team is. So yeah, at this point, it looks like Bird Noises will be winning this because they are just having a long round here, and they are just slowly dwindling all of the opportunity and all the possibilities for Running with Scizors to really run this back into a tie game here. To get 3 rounds, they're going to have to get going very quickly, and losing Jared and Deathy there on the flank, and then Evil Muffins is not going to be the way to do it. The blue Uber is going to be popped. Sen takes down Guy. Take a look at Hellbent, though, over in IT. He's going to collect himself a frag. Thought he had himself a bomb going, but no, he is just going to collect that health, as we do see now. Who is that? Rakuso on the middle point, trying to cap it for his team.
Draw them back. But, I mean, they're going to be down another player here for the second point. They're going to have to get up. Rakuso is still capping, so if they can somehow stop second, Rakuso might be able to get it. He's still fighting Van. It's not going to happen, and they're essentially going to be down Rakuso. He should get cleaned up. Actually, he's going to pick up Van. He's in sewers right now. He could peek for them. He could pick up Hellbent too. Hellbent is really hurt. He's going to get cleaned up by Muffins, and it looks like the rest of Running with Scizors are going to follow up after that distraction Rakuso made, and they have to make sure they don't get back because there's so much time, but I don't think it's going to be possible for Bird Noises. And really good job from Rakuso, actually. He made some really clutch shots that actually enabled Running with Scizors to follow up after that.
Yeah, let's talk a minute about Rakuso there. That weird and wonky soldier play, getting in on middle just to draw eyes, actually turned into a frag, and then enough distraction to cause the rest of the team, your team, to get in, pick a body, get into middle, cap middle, and that's all off the back of a heads-up play from Rakuso, who just decided, I'm a soldier and I'm going to go cap and live the cap dream. So, great job from him. Both Ubers are going to even out at 100, so Ubers will be up, and Running with Scizors down those rounds. This is them. They need to go. They take the frag onto Guy. That is huge for them coming in here, but Van is going to return onto Evil Muffins, and in the sewer we have a skirmish.
Yeah, that was a great play for them to recognize that Sai was sort of a heads-up play, I should say, for Mr. Muffins to recognize Sai's vulnerability. But then they just sort of went in too deep and lost a lot of players in the sewers. They didn't have enough cleanup. And Bird Noise here recognizing where they're getting out here in IT, and they're going to try to trap in the combo. But actually, Jarrett picks up Hellbent, putting some very good, like, precog-esque stickies in front of him, picking up Hellbent. Having that game sense to know what he was going to be trying to do. They're going to be spamming out Bird Noises here at this choke too, and Running with Scizors should follow up after this momentum.
Lots of chaotic action happening right now. The fight's going from second to second as teams are falling in, flying in. Lots of spam being exchanged. We are going to see frags fall once again. That's exactly what I'm talking about in terms of chaos, where nobody is really getting the advantage and keeping the advantage, as both teams are just filtering in and getting those frags. So let's see if Bird Noise is off the back of those 3 picks on Jared, Deathy, and Sen. Let's see if they can recap this second and manage to keep this momentum here. They do take down Rakuso, so that is going to be only 2 players left alive on last 4 Running with Scizors. So this should finally be the opportunity for Bird Noises to sort of settle things down, simmer it down a little bit, and say, okay, now we can calm it down and decide to see if we can get a 4th round. There is going to be Sen on Sniper. That's not going to stop Van from going in, who does pay for it dearly with his life.
Yeah, and Bird Noises looks like, or not Bird Noises, but Running with Scizors look like they want to follow up after that pick. Muffins is already out. He's going to pick up Hellbent. Very aggressive. Blinky is on lower IT, unable to really fight this fight, and now both an early pop actually from Sky, a better pop from Indus. And we're going to see the Ubers traded here, but there is a pick in favor of Running with Scizors, and it looks like they're going to try to still fight maybe. Muffins getting out lower, ball pressuring upper, lots of damage on Jarrett. And they're chasing, actually, both the scouts of Running with Scizors coming out through this lower side. But it looks like Rakuso and Sin are both going to go down. All the players at Bird Noises are pretty weak, but it looks like they're losing this fight.
Running with Scizors, they have to get in and they have to get frags and do damage now, and that's playing right into Bird Noise's game plan, where they just want to sit back passive and mulch and chomp down on everybody attacking them. That falls right into what they wanted to do the entire match, which is just play passive and play the short game. Running with Scizors, they need to have action happening for them right now. Unfortunately, they can't get it done. Bird Noises clean them up, and now they take a 4th round, and they're sitting 1 point away from getting ever so closer to living the playoff dream. Of course, if they win this, this will not guarantee them playoff spot, but it will at least keep them alive and in the running to do just that. So, mid number 2 here in the second half. Oh, and that soldier gets hit high into the air. Deathy, he is going to be dead. Link user gets the frag on that, but trades happening all around here as a much more action-packed middle from these teams than we've seen in the past. Jarek gets a nice pipe onto Van, but Van is going to kill him with his big body. The soldier
and
combo
Indus gets
on
the frag on Sky, leaving through IT as well late in that. So there's going to be a pretty large Uber advantage here for Bird Noises. And it's and you know, something we didn't comment on was the fact that that round lasted so long that it so hugely favors Bird Noises, since they already had the 3-round advantage. And now with 4 rounds, they came into this after this mid-fight pretty much with 9 minutes left of running with Scizors to try to equalize these scores, which is going to be a really, really tough thing to do, considering how slow the gameplay has been in some of these rounds.
Right, yeah, it's a tall order for them going forward to try to get 4 rounds, 5 if they want to win, but if they got to get 4 rounds in 9 minutes to tie this up, and that is such a hard thing to do here, as they are back on their last, and it is not looking good for them. The red Uber is going to be popped down, goes Evil Muffins, and the red Uber is going to be pushed through choke here. That Scout Link user is going to be in comes Vol as well to try to clean up those Scout scatter shot damage shots. In come the demo man for the red team as well, and it looks like they are sensing the wind here. The second cap does go in favor of Bird Noises. 2 down now for running with Scizors. The Scout on the point. Hellbent's going to join in, take down Rakuso. This could be it here. Only Deathy and Evil Muffins left alive. Evil Muffins takes down 1. He's the last surviving member. Out comes the Saw from Indust. Down goes Evil Muffins. Finally, Avast, we see Bird Noises get the 5th point. That puts them in the running at least to be considered for playoffs if they can continue to win out, and a great job from them keeping the future in their own hands.
Yeah, and you know, I have to say I was technically correct with Bird Noises getting that victory, but I was incorrect in the fact that we didn't see the point differential that I thought we would see. We saw some good rounds for sure, I would say, BloodSire, but just not enough ability to sort of close out those advantages that running with Scizors had. They just sort of played into the hands of Bird Noises a lot, and sometimes just had some key misplays that sort of put them back when they had taken so many steps forward.
Yeah, so great job from the Bird Noises going forward. Running with Scizors, we did mention how their season in terms of playoff contention has ended, but their hopes of winning that match also ended as well.